Let me take you right into the heart of this story, as if you were sitting across from me in a quiet cafe, leaning in to catch every twist and turn. The kind that makes you laugh, makes you think, and even makes you want to argue about what's right and fair. So picture this. A seemingly ordinary moment that completely changed everything for Emily Parker. She was just there, headphones on, humming softly to an old song while wiping down a fancy mahogany table in a sprawling Miami mansion. The house was unusually quiet, as Tuesdays often were. But then the old landline, the kind without caller ID or texting, started ringing non-stop. You know that feeling when a phone won't stop ringing and somehow you just know you have to answer it? Like something big is about to happen, or at least it's going to drive you crazy if you don't. Emily, who everyone simply called the cleaning lady, finally peeled off her gloves and picked up the receiver. "Smith residence, good morning," she said, putting on her professional tone. On the other end, a man began speaking rapidly in Arabic. Now here's where the story takes a wild turn. Without missing a beat, Emily replied in fluent Arabic, not a single stumble or hesitation. She wasn't just making small talk, she was commanding the conversation. She was taking a message from Mr. Dylan Smith, the millionaire owner of the mansion. What Emily didn't know was that Dylan had come home early and was standing right behind her, utterly dumbfounded. Because honestly, no one ever imagined Emily as anything more than the help. And yet, here she was, flawlessly handling a high-stakes call about a $50 million project. Dylan was blown away. This woman who had been quietly cleaning his house for months just outshone him in a language he barely managed to speak back in college. After the call, Emily nearly jumped out of her skin when she saw Dylan standing there with a look full of questions. "Emily, since when do you speak Arabic?" he asked. She blushed and said it was just the basics, but Dylan wasn't convinced. She proceeded to repeat everything the investor had said, details about the Dubai project, big partnerships, even business jargon that proved she'd been paying attention. For the first time, Dylan realized he had never truly seen Emily. On the spot, he decided she was no longer just the cleaning lady. He invited her to assist him in a crucial meeting the very next day. Emily was stunned. She thought he must be joking. But Dylan wasn't. He recognized talent when he saw it, and suddenly, this wasn't just about the mansion anymore. It was about their future. They went shopping so Emily could have something sharp to wear. At the store, nervous and out of place, Emily hesitated, but Dylan told her to choose whatever made her feel powerful, because that's exactly what he needed her to bring to the room. For the first time in a long while, Emily felt truly seen. Over coffee, Dylan learned her story. She held a degree in linguistics, spoke 5 languages fluently, and had been cleaning houses because, as a Latina woman, she didn't fit the typical corporate mold. It was a harsh reality check for Dylan, who suddenly realized just how narrow his own worldview had been. The next day, nerves on edge, Emily showed up at the meeting, dressed to impress. The Dubai investor, Ahmed Al-Rashid, and his team were instantly impressed, not just by her language skills, but by the insights she brought on American markets and cultural nuances. She even asked thoughtful questions that revealed she had done her homework. It was a moment so tense you could hear a pin drop when Emily diffused a cultural misunderstanding with calm grace, and the entire room shifted. Investors who had been skeptical began nodding in agreement. Then came the twist. Ahmed said he wouldn't sign the deal unless Emily was hired as a consultant, flown out to Dubai, and included as a key part of the project. Emily was stunned. Dylan was too. But he encouraged her to take the opportunity, admitting he had been planning to give his staff a raise anyway. Now he saw a future that was bigger for both of them. Just when you think the story might settle, Emily began to worry that by leaving, she might be betraying Dylan. But Dylan reassured her, saying he owed her everything, that the deal wouldn't have happened without her. And with that, everything changed, not just for Emily, but for both their futures. This was a real moment for both of them, a crossroads where everything felt uncertain, yet charged with possibility. Emily agreed to go to Dubai, but beneath the surface, something quietly blossomed between her and Dylan, a connection neither quite knew how to define. Dubai was a whirlwind experience for Emily. Luxurious hotels, intense meetings with powerful global players, and the weight of opportunity pressing down on her. Ahmed, the investor, offered her a permanent role as director of international expansion, tripling her salary. Though the offer was tempting, her heart kept drifting back to Dylan waiting in Miami. Surprisingly, the distance didn't weaken their bond. If anything, it strengthened it. They talked constantly, video calling and falling deeper for each other with every conversation. Eventually, Emily decided she didn't have to choose between her dream career and love. She negotiated a deal to be based in Miami while splitting her time between continents. When she returned, Dylan was there with flowers, ready to build something far greater than either had imagined. Before long, they became business partners as well as life partners. Dylan proposed on one knee, presenting a ring with stones from 4 continents, promising to build an empire of love that transcended borders. Their wedding was a vibrant celebration of cultures, roses from Dubai, orchids from Seoul, and guests from every corner of the world. Together, they founded Smith Rashid Parker International, a company that embodied work-life integration with family at its heart, eventually becoming a Harvard case study. Soon they were raising twins, juggling meetings with a baby on each hip, traveling the globe and proving that you really can have it all if you refuse to let society's limits define you. And their story never really ends. There's always another adventure, whether it's a corporate crisis in Tokyo during their honeymoon, a new market opening in Seoul, or Emily standing on stage at TED sharing how one phone call changed everything. So, I have to ask you, was Dylan right to step back and let Emily shine? Did Emily make the right choice accepting the job, or should she have stayed in Miami? Can love truly cross borders and survive ambition, or is it just a fairy tale we tell ourselves? I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's your call? What's fair? And in the end, what really matters? If you've ever felt invisible or witnessed someone's hidden brilliance come to light, share your story. Subscribe, hit the bell, and join the conversation. The journey is just beginning.